taking that position?
Yeah, it's curious, and I think the mayor is convinced that the Texas State Police has been releasing selective information to cast the state officials in the best light possible and to cast the local Uvalde authorities in the worst light possible. Now, that may or may not be valid, but we know that the law enforcement response has already been called an abject failure. I don't know whether the mayor agrees or disagrees with that assessment, but if it's true, he doesn't believe that Uvalde authorities deserve all the blame for it.
Okay, in addition to the sheriff and his testimony, who else are they expecting to hear from?
I think this is going to be close to it. They've already taken testimony from a lot of other relevant local authorities, and it's just a matter now of preparing a report, which we hope to see sometime next month, be a public version that hopefully goes a long way to answering questions, because it's hard to see how these conflicting and contradictory accounts give any comfort to the families.
All right, Aaron, thanks a million. We'll talk to you again later this week.
Thanks, Jen.
See ya. This is KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. This has been your wake-up call. Let's get a look at that drive, this time on the 110.
Things out for you again, Jen, as you're making your way northbound along the 101. Going to be a busy, or rather 110, as you're making your way through South LA. Going to be a busy one for you right now as you're coming away from, let's say the delays are from as far back as Manchester, or almost as far back as Manchester. As you're heading towards Slauson, it looks like Caltrans crews are still wrapping up shop in the area. Does remain a bit busy for you ahead toward downtown LA and the 10. And the westbound side of the 10, Santa Monica period coming off the 60, leaving Lorena. That will be patchy for your drive through mid-city as you head toward Venice Boulevard. Got an update of something slowing you down. Pound 250 on our cell phone keyword is a KFI traffic on maybe an update on what's happening in Long Beach. 710 northbound at Willow. Error actually just passed it. It is a crash that has the left lane shut down. That's why you're seeing an especially heavy drive first thing this morning on the 710 northbound from as far back as Anaheim Street. 710 southbound going to be busy for you from before Willow, almost as far back as the 405. 110 north and southbound, as well as the 605 north and southbound. As your alternates to the 710, both are looking good for your drive. Orange County still pretty quiet. 91 westbound, Riverside through Corona, seeing a heavy stretches of slowing for you this go around. From before Los Sierra as you make way toward the 241 toll road. KFI, the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Poliokini.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. I am so proud of my solar company, Sunlux. Not because they're a sponsor, but because I happen to think they're the best solar in town, and I'm not alone in that thought. When Tesla went looking for a company it could trust with its new solar ecosystem, Tesla chose Sunlux too. Now Sunlux has their panels, the patented mounting system, and yes, the Powerwall battery. It's the most advanced solar in the industry, and it's all waiting for you at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
Hey, hot dogs, sausages.
Maybe instead of using a stadium vendor to feed the office, we should have just ordered through Easy Cater.
I got nachos here. Nachos?
Yeah, right here. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was fun at first, but it is kind of disruptive.
Cheesesteak here. Who wants a cheesesteak? Over here. Coming at you.
Oh, right in the face.
Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Food for work on time and as ordered from over 85,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Hey, Mario Lopez here, and saving California's water starts with a few simple things in and outside your home. And you know the Lopez family is doing what we can do to help. Like, did you know fixing water sprinkler leaks can save 27 to 90 gallons of water per day? Or that adjusting your sprinklers to water plants and not pavement helps a lot. Let's do this, Cali, and make water saving our way of life. Find more water saving tips you can use at home at saveourwater.com.
Injured in an accident? Visit superwomansuperlawyer.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. We've got a hot week ahead. Mostly sunny today. Highs are going to be in the 60s to low 70s at the beaches. Upper 70s, low 80s for Metro LA and OC. Low 90s to right around 100 for the valleys in the IE. And that is your inland forecast for the whole rest of the week. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. This has been your wake-up call. Handle on the news. Handle starts now.
morning, everybody. New intro. Hello, I'm back. And it's one of those things when you go off on vacation, you come back. It takes about 10 minutes before your vacation never existed.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting there right now. So go figure. All right. Now, a couple things I want to do. First of all, a lot of this is in the news I want to share with you. First of all, a hello to Wayne. Let's start with you.
Ciao.
Ciao. All right. And Jennifer, usually I start with you, but we already said good morning this morning when I interrupted your opening of the show.
That was neat. I liked it.
All right.
It was very impromptu.
Yeah, good morning. And
Good morning.
Alex, you out there someplace?
Yep, morning.
Yeah, Alex always runs around actually doing work on the show, unfortunately. And Tyler, good morning.
Hey, Bill. Good morning.
There you are. And so here we go. Vacation's over. A couple of things. 7 o'clock, what I want to do is give you some sort of insight in the way Europeans think about America, especially after the July 4th shooting, another massacre. I spent a lot of my time just talking to people, and I interview everybody, and said, so what is your take on America? Some surprising notes that I want to share with you. So I will do that coming up at 7 o'clock, and part of it is going to be, you will be surprised, you might be surprised, no surprise, gee willy, and how we have our head in the sand a whole lot. And the other thing I want to point out, I was in Italy, as you know, and all of Europe is in the middle of the biggest hot spell they have had in years and years. I mean, Europe is sweltering right now. 100-degree heat was not unusual, 90% humidity. I will tell you that air conditioning in Europe is a Jeopardy question. It starts and stops right there. Even places that are air conditioned, what does this look like? Well, it sort of looks like air conditioning, but we know it really isn't. And, oh yeah, absolutely delightful. And we go into a restaurant, go inside or outside, but what's the difference?
Oh, that bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
But did you have a wonderful time?
Yeah, for the most part. The business part of it was pretty good. Now, I went to a medical convention back in another reproductive phase of my life. And so I went to ESHRE, which is basically the European version of the American Reproductive Medicine Association. It's the European version, and which means doctors from all over Europe and Africa were there. It was in Milan, and during that stay, the taxi drivers all went on strike in the country to show their pleasure with Uber. They want Uber out of Milan, and they're going to show you how to do it. They all just go on strike. And by the way, when there are no taxis, all of a sudden, not only are Uber rides for $3, $80 worth, but you can't get them.
Oh, wow. So their ratio isn't like it is here.
No, they're very much a taxi town. Uber does not have anywhere near Uber or Lyft. Well, Lyft doesn't exist, it's Uber. Doesn't have anywhere near the influence. So, anyway, Milan was kind of interesting with a taxi strike, but then Italian strikes for everything,
We strike for baguette.
Yeah,
we strike for wine.
Yeah,
we strike for cheese.
Yeah, I mean, if you demand too much air conditioning, they strike, because you can't demand that. So anyway, 7 o'clock, I'm going to go through it a little bit and tell you about what I found asking a whole bunch of Italians. The answers always ended with A. It didn't matter. A, yeah. With the A. I think,
I think Wayne has a question.
Yeah, that's kind of, Wayne.
You were talking about there's no air conditioning. Is it also true, I heard, you don't get ice in your Diet Coke or beverage of choice?
Well, first of all, Diet Coke doesn't exist, just to let you know. So
how'd you survive?
Perrier water, seltzer water, frizzante, which is fine. And that, they do ice it down. I mean, it's cold. when it's delivered to the table. There's no question about it. But if you order an iced bottle of anything, you put it on the table and it's 100 degrees out there, the cold lasts about 3 minutes and then you're done. Maybe shorter. But they do have ice, but if you ask for a glass filled with ice, they put in 2 cubes.
Oh, okay.
And so they don't quite understand ice. It's just Europe doesn't do ice the way we do ice. So at 7 o'clock, I want to share all this with you. But let's do it. We still have a ton of news to cover, and let's start with that. Handle on the news with Jennifer and Wayne and me. Lead story. Well, the president is swinging back at the Supreme Court decision on Roe, trying to do anything he can to provide access to women who need and want abortions, or the other way, want and need abortions. And he's somewhat limited because this was a constitutional decision, and he has no say in what the Constitution is or is not. That's the Supreme Court. But he's trying to figure out emergency funding from various federal programs, move those around to help women. I mean, there are certain things he can do, but he is severely limited until the court turns it around. And I think there are programs, and Congress could codify Roe. I mean, it could put Roe back on and say, hey, all the elements of Roe we now decide are law, and the Supreme Court can't do jack about it. But you think that's going to happen? No.
All right, we do know that Abbott, the factory in Michigan that shut down in February, the baby food factory, now has resumed its production, and this is what started this whole national shortage of the baby formula. And they said that it was damaged from thunderstorms, including flooding, that forced the Sturgis plant to stop its operations in mid-June. Just remember how it restarted and then all of a sudden it had to stop? It's because of the flooding. Now they say that they are back at it, and it's just one of the 4 companies that produce about 90% of the formula, but it must produce a large majority of that 90% for us to have had the shortage that we had so quickly when Abbott went offline.
So it's the biggest factory in the country, probably the world, in the manufacture of baby formula. And what is it, 2 companies have 80% of the entire market?
Yeah, one of them being Abbott.
Yeah. So, but we'll get back to it. I don't even know how expensive it is for baby formula. It's been a long time since I bought baby formula, but I always found it to be pricey anyway.
I'm sure.
You know, Pampers, the Huggies and all of that, plus baby formula. I realized very early on this was a very expensive endeavor, having kids.
I love that you see them as an investment, and what return on your investment might you get?
Well, the only good news, now I'll tell you financially, the only good news, since my kids were IVF, in vitro fertilization, which cost a fortune, but I got twins out of it, the unit price was cut in half. So that was, it started on a good note there.
But the aftermarket cares double.
Yeah, exactly. That you can't do much about. You can't use diapers twice. I don't think.
Simultaneously, anyway.
Okay, well said. All right, let's take a break. Jen, what's going on?
The House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot will focus this week on former President Trump's tweet urging supporters to show up in Washington on January 6th. Gas prices dropped by another nickel over the weekend. AAA reports the national average price for a regular is down to $4.72 a gallon. We're still over $6 here. And President Biden will show off the first full-color image from the James Webb Space Telescope today. It will reveal, I guess, what NASA says is the deepest view ever of the universe ever captured. From the Driveway.com Weather Center, we've got a mostly sunny day ahead. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s at the beaches to right around 100 inland. This report is brought to you by the Auto Club of Southern California. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Nick Taliocchini's checking that drive on the 110 again.
Definitely going to be a busy one for you as you're making your way northbound. It's really slow going coming out of the South LA area. You'll see the delays starting right around, let's say, Slauson. Looks like it is Caltrans cruisers are still wrapping up shop in the area, and then further northbound toward the 10, things do loosen up for you as you continue through downtown to the 101. Taking a drive on the 5 northbound, looking pretty rough for the Ryan and stretches as you come out of Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs. 5 northbound, that will be patchy for you as you make your way toward downtown LA in the 101. KFI, and this guy helps get there faster. I'm Nick Taliocchini.
With AAA's legendary roadside assistance, they'll cover you in any car, SUV, or pickup truck, whether you're the driver or passenger. Join AAA today for 50% off with 3 free associates. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Visit AAA.com for details.
This report is sponsored by Amtrak. Avoid the hassles of travel when you ride Amtrak. Long line? Nope. Airplane mode? Forget about it. Middle seats? Never heard of them. Get to your destination the relaxing and easy way. Stress-free summer, just an Amtrak away. Book now at Amtrak.com.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at Owen Patterson & Owen. I have 30-plus years in personal injury alone. There are so many attorneys who advertise, but we are different. If you are a client of Owen Patterson & Owen, I will be your attorney. We don't need other people to handle our cases for us. If you've been injured, call Owen Patterson & Owen at 888-OPO-WIN. And we do. 888-OPO-WINS or OPOLodge.com.
Quake's here to take 35% off your next cleaning. Your kitchens and bathrooms' natural stone surfaces are exposed to germs and bacteria. So call Quake. Our certified technicians deep clean marble, granite, and more to remove buildup. Then apply a sealer to protect from bacteria and stains. Give Quake a call today, and be sure to have your natural stone surfaces cleaned every 12 to 24 months for a healthier home. Call 800-4-POINT now and take 35% off your next cleaning.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Summer is here. Be sure to keep your family and loved ones safe from infection while you enjoy your time together. Visit your local COVID clinic and get a PCR or rapid result test. Visit one of their safe and clean facilities near you. Life is for living. Book a test at covidclinic.org to keep the party rolling. covidclinic.org. Contractor license 1047-781.
Hey kid, I invented a little helicopter that flies over the house, locates the clog in a stopped-up drain, and then shoots an energy wave down the pipe, and boom, that clog is gone. Is it operational? No, I just got drawings of it. Well, what if someone needs their drain cleared today? I'll send a drain technician to clear your drain for just $80. $80 is a great price. Are they going to use a drain cable? Yep, an extra long 30-foot. Ghetto Air Conditioning and Plumbing. GOE-TTL.
Prime members, break out the barbecue sauce and save at Whole Foods Market. Get animal welfare certified organic chicken breast for $6.99 a pound through July 12th, while supplies last. Learn more on the Whole Foods Market app.
KFI AM 640.
The news, what it means, why it matters.
So
I've got to get all the buttons back together again. Just getting used to that is driving me crazy. All right, am I back on everything, Tyler? Okay, fair enough. I also forgot to remind you that Handle on the News is brought to you by the Lemon Law Experts at Night Law Group. If you think your car may be a lemon or a lemona, call 844-43-LEMON. More news.
Yes, there is a fire in Yosemite that is threatening this big grove of giant sequoias. It's the Washburn Fire. It has been growing, and luckily they went in and set up a sprinkler system around that grove of trees to keep the trunks moist, and so far none of those trees have been damaged, or at least not severely. You've got trees like the 3,000-year-old grizzly giant in there.
Those trees are so magnificent. If those go down, it's just a disaster. I mean, those trees, well, the grizzly, for example, has been around for 3,000 years. 1,000 years before Christ walked the earth, or walked on water, whichever way you want to deal with it. But I gotta tell you, those trees, have you ever been through those trees? They're just like magnificent. You look up these trees, they're 200 feet tall. And you get it's awe-inspiring, it really is. You get a sense of how small you are. Of course, I look at it and go, my God, that's a lot of redwood. Imagine how many decks that would produce.
Of course you do. Of course you do. You don't see the majesty and the, amazement of nature. You just see decks.
I see 5 or 6 lows store full of redwood furniture and decks.
Welcome back, Handel.
Thank you.
All right, so LA County is going to expand access to monkeypox vaccine, however, only if you are high risk, because we have a very limited supply. As of right now, we've got a total of 54 confirmed cases of monkeypox in LA County. But if you think about it, health officials are even saying the risk of infection in the general population remains extremely low. And if you think about it, because the transmission of this is so, you have to hug somebody. It has to be on their clothes. You have to have slept in the same bed, on the same sheets. It's very, very hard to transmit monkeypox to somebody.
Now, second paragraph, starting today, patients at community clinics who have been recently diagnosed with either rectal gonorrhea or early syphilis will be offered the two-dose vaccine. So we are not going to be talking about, we're not going to go there on several different levels when we talk about rectal gonorrhea. But if you happen to have it, now who's going to admit it in the first place, but if you happen to have it, go to a clinic and get a vaccine. That's absolutely true. Am I making that up? Am I lying? I am not. That's good medical reporting.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Well, a new study from the CDC said that about 80% of urine samples they took from a representative sample of Americans had glyphosate in it, which is the active ingredient in Roundup and other herbicides and is linked to cancer. And the thing about it is, this is not a brand new discovery, because for years scientists have been researching it and have found consistently high levels, not necessarily a high level of it in your system, but high prevalence of this chemical in the urine of Americans.
So Roundup is in trouble anyway, but now when you look at it, the market's going to disappear, because if you have weeds, all you do is go outside and pee on them, and you're done. I mean, this is a life changer for a lot of people here.
It's very ecologically friendly. If it's already in my urine, right, why am I buying it off the shelf?
Well said.
All right. Remember when Steve Bannon, the former White House aide, I guess, or investigator, when he said, no way am I going to testify before that January 6th committee because I am invoking now executive privilege from the president. All of a sudden, Steve Bannon over the weekend said, hey, you know what? I've decided you have treated everybody so unfairly, and I have decided that I want to go ahead and testify now.
Well, a lot of it has to do with Trump waiving executive privilege, and not that he had any to begin with.
That was probably a big portion of it, but I also thought what was interesting is, like, why now? Why would he do that now? Oh, because his criminal trial is coming up, because he did not, because he revoked the subpoena. So this is going to make Steve Bannon look very good going into his own criminal trial. That, oh, all of a sudden he did go ahead and cooperate. So maybe we can be a little bit easier on him. As far as the testimony goes, you have most political analysts saying nothing's really going to come out of this. All this is just a move to help Steve Bannon in his own criminal case.
You don't even know what happened to him if he was even convicted. I mean, it's a slap on the wrist. No one ever goes to jail for contempt of Congress. Matter of fact, it could be argued that puts you even more on the front burner and you become more well-known, and the base appreciates you even more and wants to come to your defense. So, unfortunately, this whole thing, the January 6th committee, even though they've come up with just devastating, scathing information about the January 6th insurrection, once Congress comes into play, if Kevin McCarthy becomes the Speaker, that committee will disappear. It will disappear the moment he is sworn in. It's over. He'll disband it. And that's the shame of it. So this is all an exercise in futility, but still very, very important that we have to put it on. They have to put it on the record for history's sake. Although, you know, look at the revisionists in history say none of that ever happened. You know, you'll talk to those members of Congress saying this wasn't an insurrection, this was a demonstration. That's all. That's all this was. And look how they're lying about it. All right, let's move on.
Ooh, LA County has gone to court to try to get an order to force Sheriff Outsville in a way that cooperate with the Inspector General probe into these deputy gangs that he has refused to cooperate with. And even though the ordinance establishing the Inspector General says he has to cooperate, he has done the opposite.
I don't know where
now they want a judge to order him to cooperate.
Where's he going with that when a law has been passed that effectively says you got to do it? What does he do with that? Just say, I'm not going to enforce the law?
Well, I think he's doing this. I think he thinks this is the best path to getting reelected.
I'm not going to argue with that.
In a way, doesn't it make him look good to go against everything that the supervisors say? Because it essentially, I think the election is going to come down to who supports the supervisors and who supports Villanueva.
It also has to do with, is he protecting the gangs inside the sheriff's department? Do you, number one, believe that that's true? Number two, believe that the sheriff knows that's true and is doing something to protect them. And, is it political? Yeah, a lot of it, but I would sure think twice. Even if I'm a Villanueva supporter, I would go, okay, let's just take a look at this.
All right, the number is 500,000 or 566,857. That is the number of valid signatures needed before voters can decide whether to recall LA County DA George Gascon from office. As of right now, the Recall Gascon campaign says it has 715,833 signatures. So, can we assume that it's going to make the November ballot? Not yet. Not necessarily, because you don't know how many of those signatures are going to get tossed out.
Well, quite a few, but there's going to be enough there with this kind of a spread that this thing's going on the ballot. There is almost no doubt this thing is going to happen.
And it's only 50%, right? Only if it does get on the ballot,
50% plus one.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus one vote. It's an absolute simple majority.
What do you think? Wayne, were you saying that you don't think it's going to make it on the ballot?
Well, no, I don't know. But I'm saying is it's not absolutely certain with a high degree of comfort that they'll end up with enough signatures. It's going to be close. Because I think they wanted to get more than the 715,000. I remember them talking about they really would have been more comfortable with another 30,000 signatures. So it just, we don't know. It depends on it's going to come down to how careful were the people soliciting the signatures.
Yeah, and they get paid for this, too.
Yeah,
a lot of people
you get paid per signature.
Right, which means there's a lot of fake stuff going on. And so it's not that easy. That's why it costs so much money to put a ballot on the California in the California elections. It's just it costs beyond millions of dollars. All right, we're going to come back and we'll do more handle on the news. In the meantime, let's check in with Jennifer live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A Falcon 9 rocket has lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base on California's Central Coast. The rocket, with a cargo of 46 Starlink satellites, launched at 6:39 last night. The satellites will be delivered into low Earth orbit. The average price of a gallon of regular gas in LA County has dropped for the 27th consecutive day, decreasing 0.9 cents to $6.15. The average price is 31 cents lower than a month ago. In Orange County, the average price also decreased for the 27th consecutive day, dropping 1 cent to $6.06 a gallon. Oh, we're almost under that $6 mark. Elon Musk says he wants out of an agreement to buy Twitter, but Musk could face a $1 billion penalty for pulling out of the deal. Tech journalist Chris Stokel-Walker says Musk took the company on a roller coaster ride it may take a while to recover from.
This is a huge issue for Twitter because they have their CEO basically drive